Rape in Rockville we've been covering all week. It is maybe, just maybe, time for us to overhaul our approach to legal immigration. That's the question. We're joined now by New York immigration attorney Cyrus Mehta. Cyrus, thanks a lot for coming on. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on the show.
So no honest person describes all immigrants as bad people. A lot of them are great people. Some of my favorite people actually are immigrants. But by the same token, no honest person denies that some people come to this country for the wrong reasons and do horrible things when they're here. Isn't it lying to pretend that all immigrants are more impressive than native-born Americans, which is the claim?
You know, Tucker, crime is committed in all societies. It's committed by a few immigrants, but it's also committed by Americans.
Yes.
And when people commit crimes, law enforcement takes care of it, and the criminal justice system has to deal with it. But to blame all immigrants for the crimes of a few is not becoming of America as a country of immigrants. We are focusing on few immigrants who commit crimes, and of course my heart bleeds for the victims of these crimes. But on the other hand, we have millions of immigrants that benefit the United States, and we have to focus on that rather than just focusing on
so that's your determination,
immigrants.
So I guess you're in charge of what we focus on now. I mean, look, here's the point, here's the difference, and I agree with you, as I said at the outset, I'm not blaming all immigrants for the crimes of a few. I'm merely saying that if someone's here illegally, the crime is by definition preventable. It would have been prevented if he hadn't been here, and he shouldn't be here, and he should have been deported, and he should have been kept out of the country by definition. So it didn't need to happen. That's why it's a different level of frustration when we see crimes like that. Do you understand?
I do understand what you're saying, but on the other hand, there are lots of undocumented immigrants who are trying to get legal status in our immigration system that needs an upgrade. And we don't need to be deporting all undocumented immigrants. Some of them have a basis to remain here, or they could become legal if they marry a U.S. citizen or the laws change. So to have this mindset of trying to deport all undocumented immigrants because they're likely to commit crimes is, again, unworthy and unbecoming of who we are as Americans.
But I mean, and thanks for the lecture on who we are, but I don't think that anyone is suggesting deporting all illegal immigrants, even this administration, as you know, since you've been following it. And I don't think, again, anyone's saying they're all criminals. But by the same token, people like you pretend as if all people here from other countries are more virtuous than Americans. Look at the statistics. These are real. So the DEA has wanted lists for drug fugitives. 83% of them are foreign-born. In these cities, Seattle, New York, Philadelphia, Dallas, and New Jersey, jurisdiction of New Jersey, there are no American-born fugitives on the list, not one. They're all immigrants.
I'm not sure about these statistics, Tucker, but there are studies that go the other way.
From the DEA website today.
That immigrants have less proclivity to commit crimes,
yes.
and generally that has been the case by other studies. So you may be citing a set of studies, but there are others.
Hold on. Let's get our social science right. I'm not denying that. I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes sense. I think a lot of immigrants just kind of want to do their work and be left alone. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But
so most of them, and
let's
focus on those immigrants.
And I think we do, and we celebrate them.
Yes,
but there are also many others whose existence we deny, and for whom you are making excuses right now, who cause an awful lot of trouble. And so why would we put up with that for a second? Why would we say, come to our country the second you commit a crime? Well,
I'm not making excuses for immigrants.
You're saying don't focus on them.
Yeah, let me just talk. Let the criminal justice system deal with immigrants who commit crimes, and let's reform our immigration system so we can have pathways, sensible pathways for people to legalize here and contribute to the United States and its economy. And that's what we need to be focusing on, rather than the few people who commit crimes.
So here's something you tweeted February 28th, and I don't want to pull it out at random. It's not a gotcha show, but I just thought it was an interesting point. You said, "Buy American and hire American lacks 21st century vision. Global independence brings jobs and prosperity to all."
I'm glad I tweeted that, and I'm glad you're quoting it today.
But is it true? And I know that's a very, all the McKinsey consultants think that, and all the, a lot of people in your world think that. But has the American middle class become more prosperous in the last 20 years at a time of record immigration and globalization? Has it? Do you know?
Tucker, our economy has done better in the last few years because we are interdependent with other countries. And
Really?
in the 21st, yes, and in the
Well,
21st
then let me ask
century,
you
we have
again
to
a
share
very specific
technologies and skills and
there
become
are a lot of
prosperous.
upsides. Hold on, there are a lot of upsides, and I would never deny that.
Yeah, you
a lot
agree
of
that there
innovative,
are upsides.
a lot
So
of
there are
innovative
upsides,
people have moved
and the
for sure.
upsides outweigh the downsides.
No, but you said, and I'm quoting you now, brings jobs and prosperity to all. And my question is, people making under $50,000 in this country, the middle class, are they better off now than they were 20 years ago, or not? Do you know?
They may have been, but you don't, again, blame
not.
immigrants and
Close. They're much worse off.
globalization. There are other forces, and we're in this state of transition. And immigration, if we have interdependence and immigration, we will ultimately become more prosperous.
Okay. Well, a lot of us are waiting for that, and I want to believe what you're saying, but the evidence
And
suggests
I'm
you're
working
completely
towards
wrong.
that too by trying
You're
to
completely
promote
wrong.
immigration to the United States.
Okay.
I want to have more Googles in the United States.
Right. Well, don't we all?
Yeah,
Mr. Mayor,
sure,
thanks a lot
sure.
for
I'm
joining
glad you
us.
agree on that.